So the WNBA is about to make a lot. And I mean a lot of money. It's about to make so much money compared to what they previously had. So obviously everybody has seen the whole the league is going to lose 50 million this season, or the league is set to lose 50 million this season. And that is the case. Like, this league this year is going to lose more money than it ever has before. Certain teams like the Fever are probably going to profit because they're selling at a 17,000 seater stadium for every single game. Like, they probably are going to make some money there. But at the same time, like, we've all seen this one right here. We've all seen this. Despite the recent explosion in popularity, led by stars including Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, the league's losses are expected to rise to 50 million this year. And that's not and that's what people are going crazy about. But in reality, the 50 million that the league is losing has absolutely nothing to do with either of those players or the growth of the league. Because they now are paying charter flights, which cost 2 million per team. So the league is getting an extra 24 million in lost revenue just due to the charter flights in general. So that's where a lot of it is. It's set to lose 50 million. It's losing about 10 million a season. So let's just say that's where 25 of that million comes from. And then there's a lot of other marketing costs. There's a lot of other like hidden costs that the league is probably paying out this year more than anything to try push the league. The marketing costs are probably crazy, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the advertising on NBA platforms, just due to the way the books are, the WNBA is probably being charged to advertise on the NBA platforms. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. So that's where the 50 million losses are coming from. But people are going to be like, oh, but the league's losing money, you just shut down the league. Have you not seen what the likely TV deal is? WNBA could quadruple its annual rights payment to 240 million. So let's just do the maths right here. So the league was getting 60 million per year, and they've lost 50 million, which means the outgoings. Let's just say the outgoings for the league. Let's say they've lost 50 million, 60 million. They gain an extra 130 million, or 180 million. They're gaining an extra 180 million a year on their TV deal. Who gives a damn if they lose 50 million? Within 2 years, the WNBA are going to be in profit if they get this TV deal. If this TV deal happens, because everyone's talking about how the WNBA loses money all these years, companies a lot of the time will lose money and keep funneling money into losing ventures if they think eventually it's going to make money. And that's what the NBA have done. And now, with 2 years of this new deal, even with the charter flights, even with everything, because I don't know when the next CBA is, but there's a good chance the next CBA is like before the new deal. At the end of the day, like the player salaries, if the player salaries are going up, that's on the team making losses, not necessarily the league as a whole. But the WNBA, if this TV deal goes through, will make so much money in the next 2 years that it will be in profit for the history of the WNBA. Losses an average of 10 million a season. I think it's been 27 years. So like an average of 270 million, with this year being 50. So they've lost 320 million as far as losses so far. And then I think by the end of this year, with some of the deals they might get and merchandise sales and everything, I wouldn't be surprised if that 50 million gets lowered. And within a couple of years of this new deal, the WNBA, for its history, will be in profit, will be in the green, which people are going to hate, because that means you can't dunk on these players anymore because they're saying they don't generate money. Like, that is the best thing. That is what I think most people just like to dunk on the WNBA players. And it's funny because, like, if you don't know about sports leagues, most sports leagues lose money. The EFL Championship is a league where every single team loses money. Do you know how much money Everton Football Club lose per year? Like, they're getting points deductions and they're losing like nearly hundreds of millions a year. They've lost like 200 million over the last 3 years as a club, as one club, and they are still paying their players, some of their players, £200,000 a week So they're paying some of their players $15 million a year, even though they're losing hundreds of millions a year. The Phoenix Suns, when they go into that repeater tax, the Warriors are probably making money because they're in Golden State, but the Phoenix Suns are losing hundreds of millions a year. Nobody's saying Kevin Durant, the Phoenix Suns need to be shut down. Kevin Durant needs to stop complaining. Or imagine if a Phoenix Suns player goes, I want to play for the max, being like, what do you mean play for the max? You should be getting negative money because your team loses money. People just like to dunk on the WNBA. But now at least that's not going to happen. People are going to find a new way to dunk on the WNBA, by the way. Because at the end of the day, people just love to dunk on the WNBA. It is what it is. It's going to happen. People like to dunk on women's sports because, well, I don't know, like it's obvious the level of women's sports is not as high as the level of men's sports. Like that's just, it is what it is. But you just never know, like maybe these players can come in and will bring the respect back into the women's game, despite the fact there were obviously unbelievable players in the past, like just like women's tennis. Like so many great players in women's tennis throughout the years, but like Serena comes along and brings the sport to new heights, and suddenly in the 2000s the prize money for the tournaments are equal between men and women's, and now you're seeing women win millions for winning Wimbledon. So it is what it is, and it is crazy. And even the valuation of the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever are now the 6th most valuable franchise in the WNBA. They are more valuable than the LA Sparks. LA. Los Angeles. The team in Indiana is more valuable than the team in Los Angeles. Like, obviously the Aces and the Mercury, or not the Mercury, and I think it's Aces, Fever, and the Mercury are somewhere up there. But either way, they are. And they're also valued at like 100 million. So, again, people are like, oh, the league's losing money, then why does it cost 100 million to buy? Why would it cost 100 million to buy a team? But, yeah, like, the impact of these rookies, especially Caitlin Clark. Look, to say that Cameron Brink and obviously Angel Reese have had no impact on this is crazy. To say Aja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, Candace Parker, Tamika Catchings, Cheryl Swoops, Cheryl Miller even before that, Elena Delle Donne, Brittany Griner, to say that none of these players have had an impact in getting the game to where it is crazy. But the reason that this sport is going to become profitable very, very soon is the person on the screen right now. It is Caitlin Clark. And the crazy thing is that Caitlin Clark is going to be the pioneer for this. You've got Paige Beckers coming in next year, who's one of the most popular female basketball players in the world. Not quite on Clark's level, but she's going to have serious hype coming in. The next year, you've got Flau'jae coming in, who is incredibly popular as a player. Like, she's another player like Reese who transcends basketball. And then the year after that, you've got Juju Watkins. So you're looking at a league where you're going to continue to see these hyped players. Maybe not to the extent of the Clark mania, but there's going to be serious hype now for rookies coming into this league. And I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon.